What is up, everybody? It is Andy back with another episode of AndyThinks. This will be episode 2 in the series. I know it's been quite a while since I've uploaded the last one, over a month now. And I hope that changes with just now some more motivation that I've come across lately, just to do more videos and to just put more of my ideas and thoughts out there. In the last video, I talked a lot about just me in general and my thought process going into this and why I wanted to make these videos and what I hope to get out of them, I guess. And now this video, I guess I want to just talk a little bit more about just general things and just more philosophy type stuff, just more in depth, I guess, on myself, I guess, more psychoanalyzing, I guess, of myself. Hopefully this will be helpful for me and maybe anybody who comes across these videos and wants to watch them. I am making a little Instagram account. I don't know why I said little, but just an Instagram account, I guess, to just post probably stored videos and just to have a more an easier platform for me to upload more and just to put out more content. So if you guys do want to follow that, the link will be in the description down below. But other than that, I guess let's just jump into the video and yeah. So this video, I guess I kind of just want to talk about where I'm at now and my thought process and what I'm planning on doing and what I'd like to be doing, I guess. So recently I've come across a little bit more motivation, like I said, so that's why I'm actually recording this. I've been trying to just better myself in ways. I guess the main way lately has been I've been going to the gym quite a bit. I've been working out. I've been enjoying it, I guess, because I used to be a bit stronger than I was. I used to play a lot of sports in high school. I used to really enjoy just being active and all of that. And then for the past couple years, I've gone through a pretty bad depression, I would say, to the point where I just wouldn't eat very often, and I became very weak. It became very antisocial. Still would say I'm fairly antisocial right now. I'm getting better at it, I think. I'm trying to break out of that a bit more and just accept more people into my life and just to not doubt people and to not push people away as I have in the past. Kind of using fitness in general just as an avenue for me to do something and to get better at something so I can see like a real tangible physical progress, which would hopefully give me confidence in the future to do more, because sometimes like uploading videos and doing just random artwork and stuff like that, it's harder to see a progress, I guess. It's harder to gauge how much better you're getting, and it's harder to see the progression, I guess, at least for me. And probably other people would be able to maybe tell that I've gotten better over doing Photoshop stuff over the years, and even though I have too, but it's a different type of way, and it's something that just gives me confidence in general, because just the better I feel physically and the healthier I am, that just gives me just more confidence in general as a person. I feel like that's why a lot of people work out, is just to just make themselves look better, to feel better, so then they can just go throughout life just being more confident and more sure of themselves, I guess, in certain aspects. So that's kind of the main reason I've been working out a lot lately. And I've been seeing decent progress. I've been working out for about 2.5 months now. I'm not going to make this into like no fitness channel or anything like that, me trying to give workout advice and stuff like that. Maybe eventually there'll be like an episode or something like that I might do. I don't know. I haven't really planned anything like that, but I don't see that as the direction this channel is going to go. I would rather just keep this more about philosophy, psychoanalyzing, and stuff like that. But yeah, so now that I've been feeling a lot healthier, I just have more confidence, because I was going through quite a big rut, quite a big depression where I wasn't eating. I was losing a lot of weight. When I was like 19 years old, I was like 175-ish, a little bit more than that, sometimes kind of fluctuated pounds, and being 5'11", 175 pounds, you're bigger. I was a bigger person. I was stronger. I definitely was a lot more fit and active than I have been recently in my life. And over the years, now I'm 22 now. I'm about to be actually 23 at the end of this month, the 31st. I've lost a lot of weight. I was down to like 137-ish, 138, depending on the scale I was on at one point. Couple months ago, and that's very skinny for somebody who's like 5'11" and a half. I guess I just hate that I'm 5'11". That's just a whole nother story, I guess. Or not story, but just a thing to talk about. But yeah, I was pretty skinny. It was getting to the point where my knees would shake sometimes, and as I would walk upstairs, I just felt weak, very weak. Like I just things hurt. My knees hurt. My legs hurt. Arms. Like I just got tired very quickly, and it was really just affecting my mental state as well. Because when I was used to, when I was younger, just being a lot more fit and a lot more capable and able to do things, and then to fall off so hard in general, in like physical ways as well as even mental. I feel like I lost a lot of my mental strength and mental will, I guess. That it just put me in a really, it made my depression even worse, I would say, because that's just another aspect added on to why I'm already depressed. So that's why I decided I needed to make a change. I needed to start exercising, getting myself in shape, and not making excuses for why I was losing weight, or making excuses to why I'm fine with losing weight, I'm fine with being weak, it doesn't matter. All that stuff, it was all just excuses, and deep down I always knew I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to feel weak or that I couldn't do things physically, just because I've always I've not really prided myself, but I always just knew I had that just in case it was ever needed for anything. I just always knew I could help people out moving shit or just doing whatever. And just playing sports in general and running. I liked that aspect of myself, that I just felt confident in my abilities as a human being, because if I want to go a little bit deeper into it, it's like now society and everything's a lot softer and everything's more coddled, and there are benefits and there are drawbacks to that, but I like to think about things as being a human in a larger time scale, because we've only really had this sort of civilization for, in this sense, where we have computers, we have phones, we have cars, and all of these amenities that really alleviate a lot of the physical needs of people, I would say. I like to try to compare myself to how people were like 100, 200, 300, all the way back to just people in the Stone Age. There's a lot of, even though it's kind of stupid to think that way, because now we do live in the society, it's not like we're going to go back to it, but I always try to think of it in that sense, because it's just, we still are that. We haven't really evolved much, probably at all, since like at least 200 years ago. There probably hasn't been very much evolutionary change in the human species, and I didn't like that I was falling into the trap of societal coddling, I guess. Even though I didn't feel coddled, I just felt like I didn't need to be strong, or I didn't need to be fit, and I was just making excuses in that way. But I try to think of, and it's also another reason. It's like back in the day, a lot of people they probably got out a lot of their energy. They probably got out a lot of their stresses and emotions. Even I don't know how things compare from today, from back then, because obviously I wasn't alive back then. There's not much. There's obviously literature and stuff like that from even like Roman, Greek, before that, and even like there's a lot of stuff talking about people just with their emotions and whatnot, and how they would get through that type of stuff. And I felt like physical activity was always kind of a good way for me personally, and to alleviate a lot of that. To center myself, and to release all of the excess energy inside of me, which I feel like if I don't do anything, it just kind of all builds up, and it makes me think too much, because I don't move, I'm not active, and that's just that many more calories in me, or just that much energy in me that's not being used in a physical aspect. So it's all being directed towards my head. And so I try to think back to old times of how people would probably, how people's lives were, and what it would be like in a sense for them, their day-to-day lives, and all of that, which is it's kind of weird. I know it's like kind of probably sounds fucking crazy, but I don't know. That's just kind of how I would compare things, because I feel like a lot of people have really lost sense of what it is to be a human being, because they just think that the society that we live in now is how things have always been and how things will always be. But we don't know that. I mean, there could be an EMP tomorrow or something. There could be a solar flare from the sun that basically EMPs all of our power grid, and we're in the dark ages again in a sense. I mean, not literally, but metaphorically, I guess, if we just don't have power. And that would change a lot of things, and it would change a lot of people's perspectives, and I don't know how society in general today would react to that, because I don't feel like a lot of people are prepared for any sort of a hardship on that scale, I guess I would say. So I feel like that was just a really weird tangent, but yeah, that's just kind of how my thought process works, I guess, as trying to find my place in the world in general. Like I've always kind of been fascinated in like handmade, like there's people on YouTube who will go out into the forest and like just build huts out of sticks and fucking mud and all that type of stuff. I bet a lot of people have seen it. A lot of the videos have millions of views. So I definitely, the sign to see that these types of videos have a lot of views, and they're always so interesting, and they're so captivating, at least for me, and I bet a lot of the other people who've watched those types of videos. It kind of triggers a little part in your brain that it's like the part of your brain that you would have needed back then to actually survive, and to the creativity aspect of it, and there's just a lot of mental like connections, I guess, I could make from watching those. So I guess that's just kind of how my thought process was working, in terms of me wanting to at least do something more physical. Even though I know it's just me going to the gym and just lifting up a weight, which is still very societally constructed, and it's not the same as like running or hiking through a forest or anything like that. But it's still physical exercise, and it's still working out, and I feel like it did help me more settle myself and calm my mental state. And just even another thing about when I was feeling weaker, I did have a lot of mental issues too, in terms of just forgetting a lot of things. Like, my mind was a lot more foggy. I couldn't think as straight, and sometimes I would have a thought and it would just kind of disappear. And I've kind of regained my ability to think things through and not just lose thoughts into the ether. I'm able to really concentrate a lot more and to really think through a lot of things, even though I'm still depressed, so it still takes up so much of my mental bandwidth that it's really hard for me to have long thought processes on things and have an objective look, a logical look at things, because I'm constantly being bombarded with just depressing thoughts about myself and just society and why I don't think things are going well. And I feel like there still is a lot of positives in the world and positives within myself that I need to realize, and to help really just culminate that within myself and to act it out, I guess. It's like the dichotomy, like the dichotomy. I don't know the exact word for this, but it's like, since we become more societally built, there's the negatives that, like I've said before, where a lot more people are a lot more coddled. They're a lot more soft in general, anywhere from mental state to physical state. And I feel like it's kind of obvious now. With the rise of social media and everything, people just have a lot more time where they're just being very connected to a lot more people and a lot more ideas, and I feel like that's probably partially what's causing a lot of the rise in depression in the United States. If you look at the statistics, the rate of depression is skyrocketing, and maybe it's just the ability for us to diagnose these things, so we're just diagnosing it more, or maybe it's certain things in society are causing that. But I also look at the good things in society, where it's like we have modern medicine, where people are just being able to live longer, people are being able to live happier lives, or some people are being able to live longer, happier, more connected lives with their family, just due to the fact that we don't have to worry about a cheetah jumping out of a tree and jumping out and just killing you or your family or your loved one. And it's just we have the good aspects of it, where we have our air conditioning, we have cars where it makes things easier, and I don't want to go back to the Stone Ages or to a time where we didn't have a lot of these things. But it's just interesting for me to think about and to try to connect and to understand where things have changed for the good and where they've changed for the bad, I guess. Because it's just like the fact of smartphones, it's like people they're able to be a lot more connected, and it is a good thing in a sense, but there also is obviously negative things. I mean, the outrage culture on social media, everybody, there's echo chambers. People are able to just give their ideas and thoughts in a quicker way, and I feel like it's lessened people's capacities to really think through a lot of things and to really think introspectively and to reflect on what they do as a person, because everything is just moving so fast that I feel like a lot of people don't see that they need to take time to really to think about things and to understand what's going on. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't want to try to make it like it's, I don't want to try to make it seem like I want to go back in any way. You know, I think I've already said that, but it's just interesting to me to think about just the different changes in society, I guess, and then to even bring it back to myself, to get, I guess, back more to the psychoanalyzing part. I know that was just kind of a rant on society in general, but what it's done to me in general is just like, since I've always been just an energetic person. I mean, I have ADD. Even though maybe ADD is not real, and that's kind of another story, like another sidetrack. It's like ADD could just possibly be caused by the fact that a lot more people now are having to live lives of a more laid back and more still life, I guess, sitting in class all day and stuff like that. It's like 100, 200 years ago, kids would have been running around helping their parents on the farms or going out on hunting parties. It's whether it's like, it's interesting thing. It's like maybe kids just have more energy than what's required to sit at a desk and learn, and just to just try to focus on somebody else talking, when for the majority of the human race we haven't had that. So it's kind of, it's just an interesting point. So that's where I think a lot of my ADD comes from, is that I wasn't doing a lot. I was playing a lot of video games, even though video games were giving me an outlet for my mental capacities to be used in a way, even though I feel like a lot of it was just me trying to like clear my head in a way and just to focus on something, so I didn't focus on the depressing thoughts and stuff like that. So it's like I used the video games to not think because I was depressed, but I think the reason I was depressed and so I had so much anxiety is because I wasn't physically active very much. Because I mean, video games aren't, even though I play on keyboard and mouse, so it's even a little bit more physically active than, say, a controller where you're just using your thumbs and whatnot. I'm using more of my arms, and it's more of an interactive experience, I would say, but it's still nothing like it would have been for a normal kid's life 200 years ago. So that's just always been just an interesting thought experiment for myself, I guess, or not thought experiment, but just a perspective I've had, I guess, on where we're at today and why some of the issues are arising. So yeah, that's why I started working out. I guess I'll bring it back to that. It's just because I needed to get out a lot of my physical energy, a lot of just the built up energy and everything. Now I guess I would say that since now I've been able to just be more active and get more of my physical, now that I've been more active and been able to use a lot more of my energy, I feel a lot more just grounded and calmer mentally than I used to be. I think definitely that's the case. Even though I'm not gonna try to say that exercising for me has completely eradicated all negative thoughts and feelings, because I still definitely 100% have them a lot of the time throughout the day, but it's lessened to a certain extent, which is a benefit. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and like I said earlier, just me being able to exercise and to see a tangible a tangible gain and increase in myself as a human that gives me the confidence to go forward in other pursuits like these videos. I definitely want to do more of these. I'd like to put out a video a week, maybe even more than that, because it's not like it takes me too long to do these. I mean, the recording time, I think I've been recording now for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to edit this down a lot because sometimes I stop talking to really try to think about what I'm about to talk about next and whatnot. So it's going to be edited down, obviously, but it takes me probably in total maybe an hour and a half to get it recorded, edited, cover art, or not cover art, thumbnail, uploaded, advertised on social medias. Even though I don't think I'm going to put this on like personal social medias, I'm going to do more of like a that's why I'm opening up that Instagram, because I just don't want to bother people I know with this type of content, because I know a lot of people probably aren't very interested in it. So I'm going to just make a different account for that type of stuff, so that people who want to see that will see that, and then I can kind of keep my personal life and then my video life, I guess, a little bit separate, which I think will be probably a good thing in the long run. But yeah, so I've definitely been getting better in a mental state. I've definitely been feeling a little bit less anxious all of the time. I still definitely have those dark, depressing thoughts about myself in general, and how I don't think I deserve anything, and that I don't think that I will amount to anything. But it's still, I still always have the other side of my brain that tells me that I have to do something. I can't not, and that I won't be able to live with myself if I don't do something with myself. Like, in a way, it's kind of weird. It's like a lot of my depression comes from the fact that I haven't accomplished anything, even though I kind of have, but I don't recognize it. Like I think I might have said last episode that I've done things like hosting concerts, and I have done different things like that. I've uploaded videos on this channel with have like a few thousand, hundred, like tens of thousands of views, and it's not like it doesn't make me feel amazing about myself, but I do know that at least it's some effort I've put into some avenues in my life, and that there have been some results in it. So it does at least give me a little bit of confidence that I can do something, I guess. I'm depressed, and me being depressed is holding me back from being able to focus long enough and to feel confident about what I'm uploading or what I'm talking about. But the reason I'm depressed, I feel like, is because I'm not feeling confident about myself, and I'm not uploading videos, I'm not putting out different drawings, and I'm not doing that type of stuff. So it's a really hard battle to fight, because I don't want to upload stuff sometimes while I'm depressed, because I feel like I'm just an idiot, and I feel like nobody wants to listen to me and nobody cares at all. But the only way I wouldn't be depressed is if I go and do those things. So it's really hard for me, at least lately. It used to not be this way. I used to be able to upload a lot of videos. I used to do a lot of different content, whether it was just random Photoshops or it was YouTube videos of gaming and other things, and I used to be a lot more motivated and dedicated to pursuing different crafts that I enjoyed and putting out content. But lately I've just been so depressed that it's very hard for me to feel confident about anything I'm saying, or to think that anybody wants to watch it. I think I just repeated myself. But then, even going back to a comment made on my YouTube channel, let me get the guy's exact name. I forgot, as it was commented quite a while ago. On the first video I made of AndyThinks episode 1, Colin Willem kind of pointed out how in the first video was talking about how I don't care if people watch, but that I said it a lot of times, so it just kind of seems odd that I'm saying a lot, because it just almost seems like I'm trying to convince you guys that I don't care if people watch. And then I responded to him, and it's more me trying to convince myself that it doesn't matter if people don't watch. It's more, I want people to watch, obviously. Like, 100%, I want people to see my content. I want people to maybe be able to relate and to enjoy what I'm talking about. But if I solely make that the main goal of why I'm doing this. If I don't see success, I won't continue with it. So it's kind of bringing back to my fitness thing, and why I'm doing that right now is because it's something I can see real tangible gains in. And with something like this, with a lot of internet content, it's a lot slower of a process. There's a lot more time I feel like goes into really seeing any tangible gains. So it's more me just trying to convince myself that I don't want that people watching is not my overall goal with it, but it is definitely a goal. I do want to eventually be able to possibly make a career or a following off of talking or creating things, because that's what's generally just most fulfilling for myself. Because I don't want to live the simple life of just me working my minimum wage job now, and I just deliver pizza and it just doesn't fulfill me in any way. Like I need more creative expression, and I need more, like I need to be able to express myself, like I just said. It just that's the only way I will feel fulfilled. I feel I won't feel fulfilled by just going to work for 8 hours or 8 hours a day and coming home and playing video games and watching TV, watching YouTube videos, just eating, going to bed, and doing it all over again. I won't be able to live that way. I come to that conclusion within my life that I have to, like, it is my really only option to do something creative, whether or not it's me making my own videos or me helping somebody else create something. It has to be something of a creative pursuit. I can't see myself doing anything else, and I'm not sure what the creative pursuit will be. It might be this, it might be different types of videos, it might be short films, it might be other things of that nature, but it won't be me just living the simple life, because I couldn't live with myself living a simple life, because I know what's possible and I know what I'm capable of, and if I don't live up to what I'm capable of, I'll hate myself. And I do hate myself because I haven't lived up to what I'm capable of. Like, I see my friends graduate from school and live up to what they're capable of, and for me to still be where I've been at, it hits really deep with me. And that's where a lot of my depression comes from, I feel like, is because I know I haven't fulfilled a lot of the things I've said in the past to people, or I know I've let a lot of people down. I know I've made grandiose statements on social media saying I'm going to upload this, I'm going to do that, and then I just don't do it, and it really gets to me. It just digs deep into the back of my head, and it won't leave. And I know I've accepted and I've learned that I have to, if I want to feel better about myself, it's going to have to be by me doing things that are going to make me feel better about myself. It's not going to be just over through time. It's not going to just get better on its own. It's going to get better by me making it get better. And I've accepted that for a while, but I've not had the motivation or the will to go through with a lot of the things that I've wanted to. And like recently I deleted my Twitter. I made this big Twitter post, not a big Twitter post, but just a Twitter post in general, just about me saying I'm deleting my Twitter for this X amount of days until it was I deleted it. I'm deleting it until August 30th. I think I might just keep it deleted. I haven't really decided yet on that. I just really don't like Twitter. But I said I'd be uploading some new content that people have never really seen from me before, and a lot of it was and it was kind of based off of a comedy skit that I've thought about and I want to eventually do, but it's really hard for me to commit to it because I don't feel confident in myself, because it is pretty out there in terms of it's not necessarily out there in terms of comedy, but it's out there in terms of what I've done in the past. So if I don't feel confident in me releasing it or thinking people would like it, I don't want people to think I'm a fucking loon or something when I release it, and it's just like it's just really different from anything else I've done. Because I mean, kind of the main premise of a lot of the comedy skit that I wanted to do was that So, well, just to go back a little bit, I've always wanted to do short films. I've always wanted to do like little comedy skits kind of similar to like people like Churdleys or even Filthy Frank back in the day. Like, just very like just playing up characters, very like just playing up just kind of playing up stereotypes, I guess, of people in a certain way. And I've always wanted to do that, but I've never been able to have friends, or I've had friends, but I've never been able to have people who really could commit to helping me do it with acting and just being in the videos and whatnot. So I've just never done it because I just didn't see a way to do it without other people helping me. So I kind of came to the conclusion that I would have to just basically be the person to act all of the different roles. And I came up with a lot of different, there's Sandy, who was going to be Swole Andy. He was going to be just a played up version of like a bodybuilder type guy, which I mean kind of goes along with me just working out recently. So that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to work out a lot, so I could live up to that character. And then there's Andy. He's just a rapper, kind of goes off like Ron, kind of off the Key and Peele skit where they just say Ron. There's a bunch of names for football players and whatnot, and I thought Andy would just be a cool like just white guy trying to just be ghetto type rapper name. And I had Handy, who was a hick Andy, and just Handy in general, just kind of like he was going to be a character who was a hick in a way, like kind of country, like talking like this, like I really know how to do all this type of stuff with fixing the cars and all that type of stuff. But he was going to be a character who was just going to be very like kind of who I don't know. He was going to be a character who was kind of like a part of me, I think, a lot. And just because I do a lot of stuff, like I know how to do a lot of different things. And in a way, like I know I changed my oil in my car, and I've also built a computer. It's like they're very opposite ends of a spectrum of doing things in a way. But it just, I've always liked being the one to do things. I don't like paying people to have to do things for me. I'd rather just build it myself or do it myself. I've always just been that type of person. So Handy was just going to be kind of that part of me. And these kind of all were parts of me. Like Andy, like I used to make little hip hop songs and stuff like that. So that was kind of that extension of myself. Like Handy was going to be the more do-it-yourself, just more country type person, because I've always been kind of in a little bit of that way. I've always liked camping. I've always liked fishing and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of have a little bit of, I don't have country in me, but I have country roots in a sense. Like my great grandparents owned a farm. I grew up a little bit on a farm, so I do have a little bit of that in me. And then there was going to be Randy. He was going to be more of a nerdy guy, so it was kind of going to be like kind of a joke, because Randy's kind of the most masculine name out of it, but he was going to be the most introverted and kind of weak one out of them all, and he was going to be the one who's just very nerdy, plays a lot of video games. Kind of came from also BK Randy, just like a term people would use on like Xbox days, just calling people BK Randy. I don't know, some people might not get the reference, but that was going to be that character, and I was going to be the one acting throughout all of these different parts. And a lot of my anxiety came from me just really realizing how much work that is, me acting all of these different characters and then editing it all, which would be so difficult to edit a video of me basically, and all of in every scene, multiples of me reacting with each other, and I don't really necessarily feel confident in myself that I do that correctly yet, even though I should, and I feel like I could, but I just always have doubts in my head. So I'm just doing these type of videos right now, maybe to build up confidence in another way in myself. Like I said, I'm lifting weights to build confidence in myself, and now I'm doing this type of stuff to express myself a bit more, to build a little bit more confidence in myself that I'll actually do more things, and then eventually down the road I'd like to do that. But it kind of goes back to where I was talking about me coming out and just saying a lot of things that I wanted to do and not coming to fruition. So that's one thing that's really been eating at me lately, is that I don't know if I'm going to actually release a video of that nature anytime soon necessarily. But that's why I'm hoping at least me doing this will kind of alleviate some of that anxiety and stress I'm feeling from not doing that. So to at least feel like I've at least done something in a sense. So I think that's going to end today's video though. I think I've talked a lot. I don't know how much I've rambled. Once I go back to edit this, we'll see, I guess, how much I've all the rambling and the tangents I've gone on, and I'll have to edit it all down and try to make it into one cohesive video. It pretty much, I'm not going to really change anything or put anything in different parts or switch up the parts of anything. It's just really going to be me cutting out certain parts because I do take little breaks to drink some water and stuff like that. So obviously I have to make little quick cuts. But yeah, I think just in conclusion for this video, I think a lot of the things I was trying to bring up and to try to maybe bring it all together into a cohesive idea or anything like that would just be that I recently I felt depressed because I feel lost in society because I haven't expressed myself fully in the ways that I know I can and I'm capable of, and that's been causing the depression of myself. It's been causing me to be depressed, but I also recognize that the reason I'm depressed is because I'm not doing that type of stuff. So I've accepted that the only way I will stop being depressed is to truly fulfill my obligations to myself and to the things I've said and the things I've put out into the cosmos in terms of tweeting and just me talking to friends. It's like I've said a lot of things that I wanted to do and I haven't done them, and the only way for me to do them is just to put my head down and work and just get it done. So that's where the working out came into place, and that's where these videos come into play. Hopefully you can't hear my dogs barking too much, but yeah, I have to start putting out more. I have to start expressing myself online and just getting my ideas, thoughts, and feelings out into the internet, into the cosmos, into the universe, and that's the only way I'll feel better. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I'm really surprised. I don't expect anybody to make it this far and to listen to my dumbass ramble all about all this stuff. But if you did, thank you very much again. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, I hopefully will be uploading once a week now. That's the big main goal. I need to hold myself to that. World of Warcraft Classic is coming out, so there's going to be a lot of time being put to that, which is kind of, I'm mentally conflicted about that. But that's a whole another episode. Probably next episode I will talk about that after I've gone through that, and I'll see how I react and how I handle that type of situation. But yeah, if you want to leave a subscription, greatly appreciated. If you want to follow the Instagram account, I am making that today before I upload this. It will be linked down in the description. I have a Discord channel. I have a few other things, I guess. All the links down in the description. Thank you guys again. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.